Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we'll begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all bends understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Okay, hi guys. Hi 87. Hi Psycho, Nikki Rex, Meatfoot, Studio Headphones, Annalicia, Shaq, Amber, Cool Gamer, Michelle, Ghost, JDR, Princess Megan Elsa, Remy, JD, we'll get into that. Hi Daisy Brown, Amy, Kara, Brooke, Sofla Mama, Just Me, Judge and Jury, SRB. Hi, guys. How are you guys? Dick Buffet. Okay. To play Devil's Avocado, we don't know where the DoorDash was from because that hasn't been released. The Jack in the Box could be old trash that's sitting next to an old Starbucks cup. Well, we'll get into that too, Michelle. Hi, ET Lady. I love that name. Okay. So I kind of failed you guys. Hello, Mrs. O. Welcome. Hi, Boz Maka. I kind of failed you guys. Luckily, Wolfie didn't because I slept through my alarm, but she didn't, and she was able to go on at the same time that we wanted to on Saturday night, the same night that the DoorDash order was placed of the murders, and we were able to, well, she was able to screen record what was shown, and so I want to show you guys. So let me get the video up. Let me see my videos. DoorDash. Okay. So they never confirmed where the DoorDash was from. We've heard Jack in the Box a lot. We know Jack in the Box was sitting on the counter at the sink, but we never got confirmation that that was indeed where the order was placed. But what the screen recordings is going to show you guys is that there was only two options that will deliver to that house at that time. And that is 1, Jack in the Box, 2, Taco Bell. So it's only one of the two. So that makes me feel like it's even more likely that the Jack in the Box that we see at the kitchen sink is the order. But I still have a lot of questions because it's opened, and that would lead me to believe that, like, if it's opened, I highly doubt a DoorDash order that was just sent to the house is going to get opened. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's still holes in it, but we'll show you what we got. And I'm going to slow this screen recording down too, actually, because it's going to go fast. Wait. Pause. Slow down. Quality. Better quality. Okay. Wolfie, do you want to explain it?
You're doing great.
Oh, man. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to pull us off the screen. Okay. So this first screen recording, it was taken, Wolfie went on at 4:30 her time, which would be 2:30 Moscow time. And again, there's only two places that would deliver to the Moscow house at that time. Taco Bell and Jack in the Box. And so in the screen recording, you're going to see her go through both and see what the wait time was. Now, given, could it have been more of a wait time on that specific Saturday night? Sure. But at least this will give you an average and an estimate of what they were looking at. So in this one, you're going to see there's Jack in the Box, there's Taco Bell. Those are the two only options. Everything else is unavailable. And if I'm missing something, Wolfie, just howl.
Okay.
I slowed it down so they could see it. And as you can see, the top is 1122 King Road. It's their information that's going through it.
The timestamp on this is really 4:31.
I edited it out so it wouldn't even be confusing. So when you click on Jack in the Box, right there, one, again, you see the expanded range delivery, which is 7.8 miles. The delivery time, and this was at 2:31 a.m., was 56 minutes. It was a 56-minute delivery time for Jack in the Box on a Saturday night at 2:30 a.m. You could see the hours.
And the address.
And the address. And then you click onto Taco Bell, which would be the only other option. Again, delivery time. Let me hop back a second. The delivery time for Taco Bell, 67 minutes. Now, what's interesting about Jack in the Box and Taco Bell, I'm going to pull up a map. They're right next to each other. So it really doesn't make a difference which one was ordered from. If you look at it on the map here, I know it's like hard to see because it's zoomed out. But those cluster of 4 markers, one is Jack in the Box, one is Taco Bell. They're right across the street from each other. So it's going to be the same distance from the house. Exactly, Remy. Exactly. Because a lot of people were saying, no way it would get there at that time if it was placed at this time. Wrong. And this is an average. It may have been a longer wait that night. Don't know. But we know that this was the time this past Saturday night at that same time. 67 minutes for Taco Bell. Same distance, right across the street from one another. Same DoorDash hours, everything. Now it says the last time you could place an order is 2:45 for both of them. But something that Wolfie did notice, this screen recording was taken at 2:31 a.m. Moscow time. But you're going to see this next screen recording was taken, I think, at 2:38. So like 7 minutes later. Now, look, it says delivery unavailable. So they ended the delivery a few minutes earlier. Really, it's supposed to be up until 2:45. Yes, Kim M2. Really, it's supposed to be up to 2:45, but for whatever reason, at least this Saturday night, they stopped the DoorDash around 2:37, 2:38. We don't know if that was the case on that particular Saturday. Maybe it's because they ran out of drivers. We don't know. But what we do know is that it did stop accepting DoorDash orders a few minutes early. It's possible, Psycho, as you can see here, 67-minute delivery time. But this is Jack in the Box. You see unavailable. This is at 2:38 a.m. So these screen recordings were taken like 6 minutes between each other. Again, it's unavailable for Jack in the Box, even though it says 2:45 a.m. I'd be pissed too, Michelle. And she goes into Taco Bell. That's the deliveries unavailable too. So it's possible that they stopped the delivery going out up to like maybe 10 minutes before, like 2:35. Now, what this shows you is the two options. No matter what delivery you make, they're going to have two options. The first one is hand to hand, where the DoorDash driver is going to physically hand you the food, or leave it at my door, where they just take a photo of the food outside the door and then they text you an alert letting you know that they're there. But as you can see right below it, it says drop off instructions. You could specifically let them know what you want. I don't think so, Nikki. Do you know that, Wolfie? Can you order food to be delivered at a later time? I never saw that before.
I mean, I think you can, but...
You mean you could place an order now and say, hi, I don't want it to come here until like 5 hours from now?
I've never done it.
Have you ever seen an option for that?
I think so, but I really don't know.
You can, Heather? Heather's saying you can.
I mean, I thought that you could, but I didn't want to say that for sure because I'm not 100% positive.
Michelle says you can here. Ava says you can, but not outside their delivery hours. I think we're going to have to try that next. I'm not sure. The real John Doe says, yes, you can 100%. So if he wanted earlier in the day, say, hey, I want, the latest order to go out at this time, you can. I used it for lunches. Michelle. Hey, Jasper. I always have to add a note, ring bell or whatever. Yeah, you could. Okay, Daisy Brown said you can pick a time. So even more interesting that you could specifically pick a time, because I always went with, since his phone got shut off at 2:44 and that's when he left, it seemed like it's possible he may have placed a DoorDash order and immediately shut his phone off, left his apartment, and headed out that way.
But either way, you can't have it scheduled for a time after their cutoff.
But what if he scheduled it for the last order going out? It would still take
the same amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. So it still works either way.
Yeah.
Hey, Gregory. But as you can see, it's the drop-off instructions. He could have specified, leave the bag at this door, or call this number, or ring this doorbell, do whatever you want. He could have specifically instructed this guy exactly what to do. I don't think so, Tony. You can't pick a time on your app, Sarah? Well, I think it's interesting that there's only two options. If there was indeed DoorDash or delivered, it was either going to be from Taco Bell or Jack in the Box. That's it. Those are the only two options. And they're right across the street from each other. Xana's hungry, so she ordered the Jack in the Box. I want to know if the order came from Xana's phone. I don't think it did, based on the affidavit wording. I mean, it's possible, but why would the wording of, with the exception of Xana, who received a DoorDash order around 4 a.m., and then in a completely separate paragraph, it talks about what data was obtained from a forensic download of Xana's phone. Wouldn't they keep that within the same paragraph if it came from Xana's phone? And it also stated that they found out about the DoorDash through the DoorDash delivery guy coming to them. If they obtained that information, it would have been through Xana's phone. And again, it would have been within the same paragraph, in my opinion. It was either hand to hand or at the door. Exactly, Remy. But what I'm saying is they could specify like which door, if he wanted let's say he used this as a distraction. And again, it has a lot of holes in it, so it's not like it works out perfectly. But let's say if he wanted to use it as a distraction, he could say, go to the front ground level floor, and knock, or, call this number, whatever, while he's making his entrance into the back. Yeah, exactly. I mean, nothing else was open, Sarah. And that's the point. Nothing was open. Right, Wolfie? Nothing?
Nope.
Nothing else. I'll go back to the original screen recording. You can see these are the top two options. Everything else besides Jack in the Box and Taco Bell, Walgreens.
Look, there's
closed.
Walgreens right there. It's closed.
Floral and Gifts, closed. Nom Nom Convenience, closed. Pets Are People Too, closed. Bed Bath & Beyond, closed. Safeway Pets, closed. Chipotle, closed. Starbucks, closed. Mod Pizza. Everything else was closed except those two options.
I didn't go through all of it, but you'll get the point.
I don't know, Magic. I don't know. The only thing I do know is that everything lines up to 4 o'clock. And realistically, why would he wait 30 minutes? Apparently, Shaq, I had no idea you could even DoorDash like convenience store stuff. But
I told her you could.
You're the one who made me aware. I had no idea. But what's it called? Why would he wait 30 minutes outside of their house, which is potential witnesses, people seeing this car in the area, more opportunity for people to spot him at the place that he's about to commit murders. And then you'd think if he really was just scoping out the house, waiting around, building up the courage, once he saw another vehicle pull up and there's activity going on in the house, you know of at least one person who's awake at this time. He chose that exact moment to go in. That doesn't make sense. So it would make more sense if he was waiting out there because he was waiting for the delivery. I don't know why. I can't tell you. It's trying to make sense of the nonsensical. But that's really what it appears like so far. Who's Brent?
I was about to say, who's Brent?
Brent.
Mm-hmm.
Brent Kopaka, the newest conspiracy. That too, Kara, there was a game going on. The one shot by SWAT. What?
Oh, Allie talked about that a little bit. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I didn't know that was his name.
That's a great question. All things silver. They asked, when you place an order, do you tell them what name to put on the order, or does it use the name under the account?
If I was ordering something to have delivered to you, it would go to you.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily go with the name on the account.
No.
So if Wolfie DoorDashed me food, guys, it would come under the name Melissa. You have to put it on the note.
Yeah, on that if you go in the screen recording right here, or that one right there that's stuck on, and you asked me if I put that in there, that's an example.
Yeah. I don't like, again, it's hard because I can't even think about a perfect theory if Brian sent the DoorDash. Like, it points in that direction, but I'm trying to figure out, okay, if he did, what was he doing it for? Why was Xana's name used? There's so many people who lived in the house that if somebody knocked on the door, even if you didn't order DoorDash, you may think someone else in the house ordered DoorDash. Is that why Dylan heard someone say, someone's here? Was that someone knocking on the door? Like, did Brian tell the DoorDash to leave the food on the step? Did he pick the food up then? Did he imposter a DoorDash driver? Or did he ask? I don't know. To separate Zan and Ethan to make sure. But he wouldn't have known, Brooke. he would not have known Ethan was there. The only thing that would have indicated Ethan was there was Ethan's car being there, but he wouldn't have known ahead of time. And would he have known that Kaylee was there? That was a brand new car. Even if he was stalking out these girls, right? Kaylee went to stay the weekend with Maddie to show Maddie her new car. So the question is, would Brian even identify that as her car? But he wouldn't have been there when it was ordered, Remy. He was still at home. 2:44 is when he turns his phone off and he leaves. He's seen leaving. 2:44, I'm pretty sure. He turned his phone off.
No.
Now I'm going to have to pull up the affidavit.
You go pull it up.
I'll pull it up. I think it was 2:44. He shuts his phone off, and then 2:47 he's seen in the traveling.
It might even be after 2:50. It's not 2:44. I promise.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I promise.
All right,
let's do it.
I'll pull this affidavit up.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. It's just going to take a minute because it's slow. I'm moving though. Okay.
It's on page 13.
All right, smarty pants. Do you have it in front of you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, all right. Couldn't have let me figure out a mistake on my own to rub it in my face. All right. Let me stop this. If you put your phone, he would have had to shut the phone off or it would have died. We don't know what was ordered, Tony. You and your freaking photographic memory. All right. Hold on.
To be clear, she wanted me to correct her when she was wrong.
I did, but didn't expect it to be that quick. Hold on.
It's 13.
All right. No, but I wanted to, while I scroll past this, I wanted to, right here, Dylan and Bethany both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home by 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. So again, the DoorDash driver reported the information. And all it says is that Xana received it. That's it. But in the next paragraph is when they identify Xana being awake through a review of records obtained from a forensic download of her phone. But even see, this I struggle with too, because if this was indeed Brian who sent the DoorDash, and let's say, was it Xana who opened the door? Because I would think that's highly unlikely, since she was likely still awake and scrolling through TikTok after the DoorDash order came. You know what I mean? Like, so if he came in through the DoorDash, like at that same point, she wouldn't still be alive scrolling through TikTok. Good night, ET lady. Xana sees the door but said someone's here talking about Ethan, but he was sleeping. Okay, hold on. Let me go. 13. Are you sure you didn't skip something before 13?
Yes.
I don't know about that. Maybe my 244 is on page 12.
No, it's there too. You'll see it.
Hold on. Okay. Okay. 2:42. It was still at his apartment. 2:47. Okay. Fuck. She's right. It was 2:47. So at approximately 2:47, the phone utilized cellular resources that provide coverage southeast. Okay, so he didn't shut off his phone until he was in the car and on the move. That's what I was thinking, all things silver. And that's why I'm like, even though like it's a working theory, it's still got holes in it. Every theory that I could go through has holes in it, and it doesn't make complete sense. I never use DoorDash either, immature Doro. That's why I have to ask Wolfie all the questions. And that's something also, Judy, at least the DoorDash that we see in the sync photo, which we don't know for certain if it's the DoorDash from that night, but, you know, it looks like it could be. That's opened. So, like, if that was just used as an entry, who opened it, you know? That's what doesn't make sense, JD Wells. At approximately 2:47, the phone gets shut off. And then does not get turned on until 4:48. Did you say 2:48 originally?
I said 2:47.
Oh, man. Hey, Allie. No thanks, Tony. I don't want anything to do with JLR. Thank you very much. She is, Allie. She's here to tell me when I fuck up. She's only done it once, though, so far. Yeah, Laura, that's what I'm saying. But we don't know for certain if this is the DoorDash from that night. But again, those screen recordings show you that there was only 2 options for a DoorDash delivery at that time. And it would have been either Taco Bell or Jack in the Box. But it's opened. And again, that drink, guys, that's Starbucks. That's not the same order. Exactly, Benjamin. That's what I'm saying. That was a brand new car that Kaylee got. Even if he was stalking out the home for months, would he have known that Kaylee was inside based on the cars that were out there? Allie, ask you a question.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of the 2 options, Ava. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I think he could have possibly done it just to either have a way in, or if somebody was answering from the front door, he could get in through the back. I don't know.
I just
think it's weird that he sat out there for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Everything happens around 4 a.m.
And that road dead end, so he would see that DoorDash driver come up. Yep. So why did he wait specifically for them to come? Because that's what it seems like he did. But it could just be coincidence.
I don't think so. Why was he waiting out there for 30 minutes? That is an increased risk for witnesses. That is literally people able to put your car in that area at the specific times of these murders. You wouldn't take that risk. And if he was kind of just out there amping himself up, getting a vibe of the home, looking for any activity, once you saw a vehicle pull up, and you're being alerted that at least one person, possibly more, in that house are awake, why would you choose that exact moment to go in? Because it was that exact moment. Again, then we have the around 4 a.m. is when Dylan hears what she perceives to be Kaylee and Murphy playing on the 3rd floor. I think that was already Brian in the act of killing Kaylee and Maddie, and Murphy barking. And then like it makes no sense. This all happens at 4 a.m. If the only way it makes sense is he placed the order from a possible burner phone, burner account, nothing linked to him, left the house, and he waited. That should have spooked him. That should have made him get out of there or at least wait a while to see if the activity calms down. But instead, that's the exact moment he makes entry. Why? Right, Detrat, yeah. Huh. My cousin's college house was always trashed. Kids. And I'm really like, could that, when Dylan said she heard someone's here, was that someone alerting because there was a knock at the door? DoorDash. It was unexpected. Maybe she shouted out someone's here because whoever ordered the DoorDash may come down and meet the person. Like there were so many different people in this house. Just because a DoorDash person shows up that you didn't order doesn't necessarily mean it's weird because so many other people are in the house. It could have been anyone. It's possible, Michelle. It's possible. Was it used as a distraction? Did he tell the DoorDash to go to the first ground floor and knock, and then he made his entry through the back? The plant is messed up, but the plant is also upright. And the cops wouldn't have done that. If that was knocked over, they would have left it knocked over. They would not have moved that. No, Benjamin, I don't. Has anyone thought he may have done things at separate times? Maybe he placed the DoorDash order to sneak back in to get the sheath. No, because his phone, could he have left his phone at home? Sure, but I'm almost positive they have all the video surveillance of not just the time of the murders, but before and after. And if they saw his vehicle driving, I'm sure they would have caught that by now. But why would he use Xana's name? That makes me curious also.
Maybe if Maddie was the target, he didn't want her to be awake. He wouldn't know, but.
Well, let's go with the theory that he only thought it was going to be Maddie and Xana there, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Kaylee, he wouldn't know Kaylee or Ethan would be there.
If he only thought it was Xana and Maddie, he would try to distract Xana on the second floor so he could gain entry and get upstairs. Maybe she always ordered from there. Apparently all things silver, apparently. And he was smart enough to shut it off when he went for the murders, but not smart enough to leave it off before he arrived home, and not smart enough to put it back off when he returns back to the murders. But he did turn it off again between like 5:30 to 8:30 on the 13th that night. What did he do between those 3 hours? Yeah, Paula. Hey, Angelina. The fact that she was still up and on TikTok does make me wonder if she ordered it herself and was hanging out waiting on her food, but she could have been using. It's possible. It is possible. It's just interesting how they worded it in the affidavit. Right. But seeing Ethan's Jeep out front, did that necessarily mean Ethan was there for him? Again, it was a Saturday night. They all live so close to one another. I'm sure it's possible to think that Ethan may have met Xana here earlier in the night. They went out to the party drinking, and he left his car there because you don't pick the car back up after a night of drinking. You go back in the morning. No, you're good, Benjamin. I think he had help. I don't, just Jenna, y'all. There's a bunch of people in the chat, though, that do think he had help. The way I see it is, do I eliminate the possibility he had help? No. But can you give me one piece of evidence so far that points in the direction of him having help? I have seen zero evidence so far that implies someone else was involved. So unless I could see some type of evidence, I'm not going to just start to speculate that someone else was involved. Someone said the Jeep was there because Ethan's brother drove there in the morning. I'm not sure, honestly, 87. And I don't know how to verify at what point the Jeep got there. Yeah. Well, and Kaylee's new car. It was unfamiliar. If he didn't know that was hers, that's another car at this home. The risk was so massive to go in. Do you have to pay for the DoorDash app? I know you pay the driver and for food, but is there a fee to have the app? If so, they probably all share the same account like you do with Netflix. You get charged, right, Wolfie? Like when you place an order, you get
I
like
have my payments saved in there, like my credit card.
Yeah, this isn't Mel. That Starbucks drink is from we don't know what time. That's not necessarily from the same night. Hey,
I hope that drink's not from that night.
Yeah, that drink looks old. Oh, absolutely, Psycho. I never thought Jack had anything to do with it. You could go back to all of my lives before Brian was caught, and I said it's going to be someone's name that we have not heard yet. It's going to be someone who lives close but not directly in the area, that knows them but they don't know him. I literally said all that. I never thought it was anybody in the main spotlight. Account attached to your payment method. You could use, Michelle. First of all, you can make any account you want. I don't have DoorDash, but if I downloaded a DoorDash app right now and it asked me for my name, I don't have to put in my legit name. I could literally put in Joe Schmo. And then when it comes time for payment method, I could use a prepaid Visa gift card, or let's say I was at Taco Bell. I was ordering from Taco Bell. I could use a Taco Bell gift card as long as the food is paid for. That's all that matters. So he could have used a burner phone with a burner account and specified specific instructions for the driver. Yeah, I don't think he had a partner. You don't think so, right, Wolfie?
No, not at all.
There's nothing that points in that direction so far. It could be Joe Schmo. What do you think? The DoorDash is going to be like, put the last 4 of your social in to verify that's indeed you before we deliver this friggin' Nacho Bel Grande. I don't think so. Everything to Adam was about getting back together with Jack. Yeah. Lonely won't leave you alone. Yeah.
I will say that, like, on my DoorDash, because I order so often, I pay a monthly fee.
You do? How much? Well, that's a lot of DoorDash.
Yeah, but if you don't, then you get charged a delivery fee every single time, no matter what. Whereas if I do the subscription, I don't get that delivery fee. If I order over, it's usually like $12 where I live.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have the subscription, I would have to pay, like, some places are $5.99. It adds it on to whatever your cost is. So since I pay the subscription, it takes off that $5.99 delivery charge. Not all places are like that. I'm just saying that's an example. But when you do sign up, you don't have to pay the subscription. So you wouldn't have to have, like, some kind of membership that you're paying like I do. That's just an option that I chose because I order so often.
Well, that's different, Psycho. Ordering alcohol, I'm not surprised that they ask for your ID. That's
Wolfie is not a male. I am female.
Oh wow, tattoos.
I'm a she-wolf. It's often mistaken that way. It's okay.
Right, just me. Yeah. Just me saying anyone could pick up the order for Xana. I DoorDash for a while. Also, you could leave. Yeah. Leave at door. Exactly. Yep. That's what you were saying. Here, I'll play the video again for anybody who wasn't here. So this was Saturday night. It was 4:30 Wolfie's time, which is 2:30 Moscow time, which would have been the same time because we wanted to know what the delivery time was. I haven't really discussed it, Bausmaka, because I haven't really found too much relevance as far as, you know, her being a WSU student goes. It doesn't really, you know, like, are we going to make connections that aren't necessarily there because she happened to go to a school 10 minutes away, you know, like that happens to be the same school that Brian went to? Unless there's something that connects them, I think it might just be a coincidence. Okay. So again, these are the only two places that would be able to deliver to the Moscow residents on a Saturday night at 2:30 a.m. Taco Bell and Jack in the Box. Everything else is unavailable. The wait time for Jack in the Box at 2:30 a.m. on a Saturday night. Wait, what was it? I didn't even see it.
56 or 57 minutes.
Okay, 56 minutes, so almost an hour. Then for Taco Bell on a Saturday night at 2:30 a.m., you have a 67-minute delivery time. Last orders going out at 2:45 a.m. You cannot order past 2:45. So when you line that up with if the last order was 2:45, arriving right before 4 a.m. is accurate. But the next screen recording shows that it is possible for them to stop making deliveries like within 10 minutes of the cutoff time. This was 2:38, this next screen recording, and as you could see, delivery is unavailable. So that's a little bit before 2:45 a.m. Yeah, Angelina, these are normal times for at least by me. No, it does not, Bryn. I think that's a perfect time to eat Jack in the Box. I've never had Jack in the Box. We don't have that here, but it looks all right. I mean, anything's good at 4 a.m. after drinking, right? But you can see both deliveries became unavailable. And then the last screen recording shows you the options that you have, either hand-to-hand or leave it at my door. And then you get specific drop-off instructions. And if Brian did indeed order this and send it there, you could specify, I want it delivered to this door. I want you to call this number, whatever it was. Exactly, Psycho. Exactly. Really, Metrodoro? Nighttime is my favorite time to eat.
I know. I'm thinking about sending Melissa a DoorDash.
For an example, or just because?
Yeah.
Deserve a DoorDash. Oh, all right. Well, it better be good, whatever you send. What are we trying to figure out? If it'll be my name?
Yeah.
All right. Well, just don't make it seafood, all right?
Oh, it's gonna be seafood.
Or chocolate, please.
Chocolate.
Well, just me.
She loves her tacos.
I don't think he ordered the DoorDash, even if you use a burner phone and gift card. All that could be it. Not necessarily like, is there a good chance it can be? It depends. It depends on where you got the burner phone. Because even though you get burner phones, they are traced back to the store that sold them. So what they would need to do is, through the store that sold them, obtain security camera surveillance of the time and date it was sold and hope that you landed. That's what I was just watching with the Netflix documentary of the fast food phone hijacker or whatever, was making like the managers strip their employees. That's what the guy did. He bought a burner phone and then prepaid cards, and they had to coincidentally get him on surveillance, CCTV footage, buying the phone. A deep fried taco. What? They do that? I've never heard of a deep fried taco. Hey, Kelly Dime. Oh, really? Lonely won't leave me alone? Hey, Tess.
That's my test.
Well, she said my name first.
Well, that's your channel.
That's what we said, Pat. So we're like, is
Call
it
me a queen?
No, Annalisa, no. Is it possible, Pat, he used it as a decoy, as a distraction? Or is it possible he intercepted the DoorDash and then posed as the delivery guy? Either way, he waited outside their residence for 30 minutes. Then a situation happened where if he didn't anticipate the DoorDash guy, he should have been spooked. But instead, that is the exact moment he decides to gain entry into the home. Yes, Brooke.
Oh, I love deep fried
Hey,
Twinkie.
Radine. I've never had a deep fried Twinkie either, or an Oreo.
Oh, you're missing out.
Oh, damn, Meatfoot. Well, we don't deep fry our tacos here, but we have IHOPs, but I don't like breakfast foods. Yeah, I mean, again, hey, Emmy. It depends what you put in the account, Linda. Again, if he was using a burner phone, yeah, you could download WhatsApp number, text-free app number, or get prepaid cards. And you could have a phone number and everything. Or the delivery drop-off instructions right here, you can write, call this number, whatever. You could tell them to do whatever. Is it Jasper? Me too. Still think he came in the back. But this is the hard part. If he did come in the back with Xana receiving the delivery, how was Xana still scrolling through TikTok at 4:13? It was 4:13, right?
What?
4:13?
4:12.
4:12. Really, Pippi Longstocking? I don't. I could eat like chicken parm for breakfast more than like regular breakfast foods. Not if it came from her bank account card. Phone numbers don't link up necessarily with bank account cards, Michelle. It's going to be whatever he put in the account. DoorDash doesn't have the ability to bypass whatever your account is and use your debit card information to determine your phone number.
The whole point of this is maybe she didn't use her phone. She didn't order it.
Yeah. I mean, again, if someone else gained access to her phone and ordered it through her phone, I would have expected the wording on the affidavit to be different, because it said that the only way that they were made aware of the DoorDash, at least initially, was because the delivery driver came to them. And the separate paragraph included what they obtained from her phone dump. And if the order was placed through her phone, don't you think that they would have seen that? That would have been one of the first things they've seen, is not only the activity on TikTok, but the fact that her DoorDash app was open because she just placed an order. No, because Brooke, he was still pinged at home. And the latest it could be ordered is 2:45, and he didn't leave until 2:47. Is that correct? 2:47?
At 2:44, it was showing that he was, well, the car was.
Okay.
I think it gave a time too, but I don't remember. But 2:47, it was turned off, but he was away from his house. You know that screenshot I sent you where I drew the dot? That's where he was when he turned it off.
Yeah. That was driving around in the car while Brian is inside. The person drops the DoorDash. Brian has been inside for 50. I mean, on the case with Jeannie F., is it possible? Sure. Is it plausible? Not in my opinion. Unless you can, like, can you give me any evidence, Jeannie, that points in the direction of there being an accomplice? And I'm not saying, well, it would make more sense if there was an accomplice because we could put these times together and this theory would fit better. I'm asking evidence. Is there any evidence so far that points in the direction of an accomplice? Because if not, then it's just pure speculation. If it's just, I could sit here and I could put little things in to make my theory make sense. Does it make it true? No. It's just, hey, this makes more sense if there was someone involved. But it does not point at all to someone being involved. Yeah, well, Tess, it depends, like, I guess it all depends. But if a DoorDash driver knocks on their door in the middle of the night, there's so many people, it's a party house. Would it scare you? Versus, like, if someone knocked on my door right now with a DoorDash, I know I didn't order it, so what the fuck is it doing here? But in a house like that, would it be so odd? Because it could have been any of them. But her DoorDash is attached to her bank account. If someone else did it, yeah, but it never said she placed the order. That's the point, Michelle. We don't know if Xana placed the order. All we know is Xana received a DoorDash order. That is the entire point of going over this right now, is if Xana did not order it, what is a possible theory of what happened? The only thing the affidavit says is Xana received a DoorDash order around 4 a.m. That is it. Now, that doesn't mean she didn't place it, but it doesn't mean she did either. Yeah, Raydeen, I put no credibility into that post at all, Raydeen. I saw it, but, like, what's the difference between the person who posted that and if I go in and with an anonymous account and say, hey, I'm this person's family member and this is what happened? You know what I mean? Well, they knew, Sarah. Again, here, let me get the affidavit back up. Because the DoorDash driver came forward. So if it was Xana who ordered it from Xana's phone, don't you think they would have known, since that would have been one of her last activity on her phone? But instead, they were made aware after the DoorDash driver came forward.
Page 3.
3, yes. Thank you.
Did you doubt me?
No. Okay. Guys, Dylan and Bethany both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were home by 2 a.m. and asleep or at least in their rooms by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. In quotations, law enforcement identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. The DoorDash driver reported this information. Then in a completely separate paragraph, It says how Dylan heard what she believed Gonsalves say, something to the effect of, "There's someone here." A review of records obtained from a forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed this could have also been Kernodle, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app at approximately 4:12 a.m. So if they got that the DoorDash order was made from Xana's phone, wouldn't that have been included in the same paragraph as the review of records obtained from the forensic download of her phone? Hey, JWeezy864. You see what I'm saying? It never clarifies Xana placed the order. All it says is Xana received it. And then in a separate section, in a separate paragraph, it explained from the download of her phone, it shows that she was likely awake and using the TikTok app. You would expect to see, yeah, she was likely awake using the TikTok app and had just placed a DoorDash delivery. Like, that's where you would expect to see it. And they would know through the forensic download versus the DoorDash driver having to come forward and making them aware, yo, I dropped off a delivery at this night, at this night, at this time to this house. But the DoorDash delivery guy will be able to tell them where they leave the food, who did he see. They have everything downloaded very down to the T in these apps. So they'll have the pins, when it was made, from what account, but that's the entire point. No, that doesn't mean the driver handed it to her. You have two options: hand to hand, or drop it off on the step and be alerted, or wherever. You also have the little area for specific instructions. So let's theorize and say Brian sent it. He could have specified, go to ground level door and knock on this door, call this number, whatever he wanted to. As long as that food made it there, it'll say received.
Mhm.
And that's, yeah, exactly, Pippi Longstockings. Also, like, I don't know how it would make sense. None of the theories make sense. There's always going to be a hole in one of these theories. Was he trying to put somebody else there at the date and time and location of the murders? Because that would be, hey, listen, that's, reasonable doubt. There was somebody else at this exact place and time of the murders. Was he trying to frame the other person? Was he trying to use it as a distraction? I don't know. If they do, Linda, they will do that if you're not doing hand-to-hand delivery. I believe he used a widget to view the address of the... Oh, yeah. Well, also, if Brian made the delivery, guys, he would be able to actively track it. He would know exactly when the driver got to the restaurant, when the driver then was en route, and that would account for why he chilled there for 30 minutes and waited. He waited until finally the DoorDash came. Then he went in. Us too, Sarah. That's why we're even going through all these theories. We don't know if Brian sent it. We're just looking at what they gave us and going through all possible options. Because given what they wrote in this affidavit, it doesn't state that Xana placed the order. Now, it's possible, but it does not state that. So it's also possible she didn't. So we're looking at all theories here, but we haven't been able to figure out why he would have waited 30 minutes. And he waited finally until there was activity at the house. That should have spooked him. That should have made him run. But instead, that was the same exact moment he decided to get into the house. It doesn't make sense. Possibly, Annalicia. No, you don't have to. Okay, it all depends, guys. Let's say it was not hand to hand. Let's say it was, they left specific instructions to leave it at the back sliding door. Once the delivery guy puts that food at the back sliding door, they will take a photo, send it to the number, and they will leave. That is received. We listen to your instructions. That's all that means. Now, is it possible Brian intercepted that food and then also knocked on the door with food in his hand? He didn't want to be seen at the restaurant, right? Ordering the food. So he had it delivered, placed there, and then picked it up and knocked on the door and kind of like pretended to be DoorDash. Maybe. I don't know. But once the drop off is made, it's done on DoorDash's end. They don't wait until you open the door and pick it up. Just me. Yes, exactly. It puts someone else at the time and the place of the murders. Now, I don't know if he was thinking that for down the line, if he was going to get caught, it's going to fucking cause reasonable doubt. Someone else was there at that exact time. You know, like think about it in defense in the trial. There was somebody else at that home at that exact time. But that's if he thought that much down the line. I don't know. Thank you, Linda. Are always leaving my stuff at my back patio. I'm always telling them I have a front door, dummy. Yeah. Possibly all things silver. Exactly. But again, no matter what theory I go with, there's some part that doesn't make sense. No matter what theory, there's something that doesn't fit perfectly. Yeah, Tiffany, but what I'm trying to say is I could make more sense of him waiting, which again increase the risk of being seen. That 30 minutes is a long time to be in the location that you're about to commit such a brutal quadruple homicide, right? Waiting 30 minutes with your car is putting you by a potential eyewitness at the place, at the scene of the crime at that time. And so when the DoorDash guy comes, that should have spooked him. That should have made him be like, oh, fuck, someone in that house, at least one, whoever was receiving the order, is awake. Potentially all. You don't know how much food they ordered if more than one was awake. That should have spooked him off. But instead, that is the exact moment Brian gains entry into the house. So all I'm saying is that with the facts that we know so far, it would make more sense if he waited because he was expecting the delivery. That'd be awesome, just me. As far as we know, Tess, yeah. It's possible, Tiffany. That's also possible that he just didn't give a crap. All of these theories are possible, but I'm going to go through every single theory. I'm going to try to look at every single angle. And I've already kind of been through that angle of he does not give a crap. He's not thinking logically. Everything, Kelly, about this was risky. Going into a home of at least 6 grown adults and a dog, risky, you know? We never were able to make sense of it even before we had this information. He made, for someone as smart as him and someone who studied and had a fascination with serial killers, you would think he wouldn't make such amateur mistakes, yet he did. Well, we have to also remember, Pippi Longstockings, the arrest affidavit is not the golden ticket. Everything here says approximately 4 a.m., but there's a very big difference between 3:55 a.m. and 4:05 a.m. And they have the exact times, and that'll come out down the line in court, and that is going to make all the difference in the world. No, it wasn't a small dog, Dick, but it was still a puppy. Right, with all those cars outside, LJD3, all those cars, unfamiliar cars, that was Kaylee's new car. You didn't, like, if this was just about a kill, there were plenty of solo apartments, single occupants, where the risk was much lower, time wasn't a factor, witnesses being outnumbered. He went into that house for a reason, and we know he had just moved there in August. This is an unfamiliar place. This is a brand new state. You don't know anyone, yet he was already getting a citation outside 5 minutes down the road from that house the day before classes started. He shouldn't have even known who they were, yet he was there stalking that house from the beginning. I don't know what the temperature was that night. I could put it in, though, to Google. Duh. I don't have his DNA results or his GPS coordinates, but I'll believe that law enforcement does. And we do know that Kaylee's parents said that they saw his car come and go. They said that they saw the girls getting dropped off right by the ride safety driver, and they saw his white car come and leave. But that was on Olivia's interview with them. It was a very big risk. But the thing it's if Xana received the DoorDash, how was she still awake and scrolling at 4:12? I don't understand it. The times don't make sense. Duh. Are you asking me where his DNA results are? Because I certainly don't know. They don't release that information. We know that the killer is 99.9998% certainty the spawn of his dad. That is what we know. If she did 87, because the photo of the Jack in the Box at the sink is not necessarily from this night. Yeah, Perry, that's what we just showed. That it was a 67-minute wait for Taco Bell and a 50 what? 50 like 7-minute wait for Jack in the Box at a Saturday night at 2:30 a.m. We don't know she ate it. 87. Well, we know the back door, Laura, was his exit. We don't know if it was his entry. Now, I believe it was his entry, but we don't know. It does not state that. All it states is Dylan witnessed him leaving out the back sliding door. It kind of does matter if she ate it or not, Wolfie, because with the theory, if she didn't order it.
Yeah, but then I know where people go with that, but it's like if it was like a gift to someone, they could have put somebody she knew and she wouldn't have. So I don't think it matters.
You mean like if you sent me, like if I had a boyfriend, let's say Jack, right? And you sent me a DoorDash and you're like,
And I said it was
love
from
you
Jack.
from Jack, would you think anything of it?
Yeah.
Okay. The front door was open, Kara, in my opinion, because according to Steve, the two surviving roommates ran out. One passed out. One was hyperventilating on the phone to the 911 dispatcher. I highly doubt any of them stopped to shut the door on their way. You know what I'm saying? That would make sense why the front door was open if they ran out. It's not like they're going to worry about shutting the door. They just wanted to get the heck out of there. I don't know. See, with that, Tiffany, I don't know. I could sit here and I could speculate all day what it was for, but I'd have to base that speculation off of something, some type of fact, and I don't have anything that would imply it was drugs. That doesn't mean it's not possible, but I don't have anything to speculate with. Yeah, a neighbor says that all things silver, but to be honest, just because you see things printed in news articles, guys, does not make it fact. If there is something I've really learned since becoming a YouTube creator, is I used to think like the news and articles were, yeah, that's a source. It really freaking isn't. I have watched articles get more things incorrect than I could even imagine. And all we know is that an alleged neighbor has come over saying that she saw the door open at this time. We don't know who the neighbor was, and the police have never verified it. So I will not use that as fact unless it's from law enforcement.
Enid.
I'm sure she requested for everything, Radine. That would make sense. Well, I mean, if you listen to the interview with Kaylee's parents, they said that they first got a call from Kaylee's mom. Said she first got a call from her niece who goes to school or has a friend who goes to school around the area, and they had heard Kaylee got shot. So there were rumors going around. I don't know what time that was though, but her parents say that they had people over for football Sunday. So whenever the game would have been, I guess we would have to line up the times. Yeah, shining white light. Right, been dreaming. Exactly, yep, exactly. All we could do is look at the information that they did release in this arrest affidavit, understand and accept that this is not everything, that there's a lot more, and try to look at what they do say in it and then what they don't say in it. This wasn't the niece, the lady. What do you mean, Emmy? I'm talking about what Kaylee's mom said herself. Well, that would be interesting, Ghost. That's okay, Brian. I get it.
Can you find in the affidavit where it says where Xana was?
Yep. It implies that she was on the floor, like leading to her room. Oh, okay. Wait, it would have been up more. Hold on. So it says how the officers approached the residence, went in through the bottom floor on the north side of the building. They walked upstairs to the second floor. Now upstairs has the staircase is parallel with the hallway leading to Xana's room and the bathroom, keep in mind. Officer Smith directed me down the hallway to the west bedroom on the second floor, which is Xana's room. Just before this room, there was a bathroom door on the left of the hallway. As I approached the room, I could see a body, later identified as Kernodle's, laying on the floor. So it doesn't tell us if it's before the bedroom door or like right as you walk into the bedroom. But either way, he was able to see her on the floor as he's walking down that hallway. I could see a body later identified as Kernodle's laying on the floor. Kernodle was deceased with wounds which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Also in the room was a male, later identified as Ethan, who was also deceased with wounds later determined to be caused by sharp force injuries, which I did think was interesting. Why did they word that differently? What do you think?
I have no idea. I never really thought, like how Tess just asked, I never thought of anything like that.
What Tess say?
If they had to ID her from her driver's license.
I think that they have to ID no matter what. It's protocol. But
Like-
those cops at that point wouldn't have known who those victims were. And so that they can't just guess, you know, they would have been looking around for some type of identification.
I thought they were just kind of verifying whose room it belonged to.
Right. And what victim this most likely would be.
Yeah.
But it is strange that they word the injuries being caught. Like, I don't know, like it's just different. Why would it be different, you know? Kernodle's wounds, which appeared to have been caused by an edged weapon. Then Ethan's wounds, which were to be caused by sharp force injuries. You know what I think? I think it's the same weapon, but I think his injuries were different because there was a massive struggle. And it may not have been the same. Like he may have, I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't want to get too graphic, so I'm holding back. She may have been in the room. She may have been laying halfway out of the room, shining white light. I don't know.
I always took it as she was in the doorway of the room. Like
Doorway
right
of the room,
inside
half
the
in,
room.
half out. Yeah.
Like right inside the room.
Okay, if you're familiar with the house, if her door was open and you're looking down the hallway, you could see straight into her room. So even if she was lying there, that would make sense. As the cops are approaching, walking down the hallway, she is on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. Like right inside the doorway.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking more, JD Wells. It could have been the same weapon, but just different style injuries, because with Ethan, maybe there was more of a fight. So the injuries he suffered weren't, I don't know what words to use, like just differ, you know, like they differ. Possibly, Perry, possibly, yeah. Yeah, Ghost, but none of that is credible. You know, and I've seen those too, Ghost. I've seen the articles, I've seen the videos, but that really is speculation. I don't think Ethan was awake initially. I think Xana was awake. She and the killer, Brian, passed one another or bumped into one another. She ran. Someone's here. That is what Dylan heard. She tried to make her way to the bedroom, and that is where the attack occurred. That is why she is on the floor, because she never got fully there. That is when Ethan would have woken up. That is when Brian would have been made aware that Ethan was there, if he didn't already know from his car being out front, if his car was indeed there at that time. And that's when the massive struggle occurred. Yeah, what are you saying, Shining White Light? We understand she was on the floor. I don't know if her legs were like half out the doorway or something. The majority of her body in her room on the floor, but I don't know what, am I saying something different? Either way, as the officers are walking down the hallway, they can see her body. He was on some panel, but that's what he said. I wonder if she was going to go after how they collected the evidence. Apparently she got one guy off because of he got lucky, honestly. For a defense lawyer he doesn't have to pay for, she seems really good. What do you think of the lawyer? Wolfie.
What?
What do you think of his lawyer?
I think he got lucky.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to pay for it.
Right, exactly, Melanie. And that's what I think. It caused way too much of a commotion. I think that those killings were unplanned. We know Murphy was barking. And so at that point, he needed to get out and get out fast. Who's saying she wasn't in the room shining white light? That's what I'm trying to say. What we were saying was she may have been hanging like halfway in, halfway out. Let's say if her upper torso was in her bedroom and her legs were more into the hallway, that's what I mean by half in, half out. Don't you think if Dylan heard what she heard, you would think, I do, Radine? I personally do, but I've heard enough people speak out after being in traumatic situations that said that they could relate to what she did. And I have to accept that we don't know all the details yet. What if he said something to her on the way out? Again, just because they gave us this arrest affidavit does not mean that that's all the information. There's a lot more. So what if he said something to her on the way out? Like if you make a move or say anything, I'm going to come back or something like that. Yep, exactly, judge and jury. I think the bed is to the left peas in a pod, like the left back right corner.
Do you want her
where
picture?
the blood? Yeah. Also where the blood is coming out. You know what? You want me to get? Let me get
I got it. I'll get it.
Well, I was just going to get the virtual house.
Oh, well, I'll get you the picture of her room.
But then I'll have to screenshot it, upload it.
Oh, it's so much work.
Well, it is. Actually, I have to mute and I have to come in.
Okay.
Oh, you mean her real room?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you could do that.
I mean, it doesn't show her whole room, but you get a sense of where her bed could be.
Yeah, Melanie, I agree. And Bethany, just because it doesn't include anything of Bethany doesn't mean that she didn't necessarily experience anything. She may be the golden ticket. Who knows? Maybe ghost, maybe. Okay, hold on. So that, yeah, it would make sense that if you walked into her room, it would be to the left. I don't know how to. See
Like
my issue with directions again.
Where the blood is coming down.
Yes, exactly. Okay, hold on. I have to mute while I upload this.
I mean, you see half of her room. Where else is a bed really going to fit?
Okay, so behind her is the door. Now imagine that door being open, and as grisly as it is, the floor right there is where I imagine Xana's body being. But let's look at it through the perspective of you're walking in through the room. I imagine the bed being to the left back right corner. That's along the wall where we see the blood dripping on the exterior of the house. Hey, Spencer. No, that wasn't a new document. Josh, that was the arrest affidavit. It's going to be a handful and will control his attorney. Maybe. I have a feeling, it's his game. It's his performance. and he's ready to play ball. He's coming here. Hey, headphones. If he's caught, he's not going down without a fight, because I think he's more after the notoriety of it. Here's what my thoughts on what happened on the second floor. He came down the stairs after getting Kaylee and Maddie and went to Xana's room. Xana was in kitchen. He started hacking away on Ethan. Xana saw and cried. Huh.
I've kind of wondered if Ethan was before Xana too.
Really?
Yeah.
How would that work out, though, if Ethan was before Xana?
She would walk in on him. She would be right there at the door, trapped, essentially. But I've wondered that too. I don't know, though. Because I would think if she was attacked first, he would have woken up, unless he's like a deep sleeper. But I think that the blood is from Ethan. So
I agree.
I think that he was not far from that bed. But
I think the bed probably moved.
I would have
the
thought
struggle.
that if he got Xana first, that would have woken Ethan up, and Ethan would have gotten up to help, but he didn't. He could have been a hard sleeper, though. I don't know.
Why don't you allow captions? It would be helpful if you can. It helps with grandkids. They don't have to hear. I totally get you as far as captions, Spencer, but it's not that I don't allow captions. I'm not sure how to go about making captions, in all honesty. Here's my conclusion of DoorDash. There are too many variables to know how the order was placed, received, etc. Court will tell us if it's open. Yeah. Xana first, Ethan came to back her up and got butchered as well. I did find it intriguing that the order of the victims on the tattoos matched the order of the victims in the paperwork. I wonder if they guessed at the order. Well, people have speculated that too. Is the order of the victims' names the order that they died? I'm not sure. I think I have, Emmy, but I think that the bed probably moved like maybe a couple inches away from the wall. Either way, blood had to have pooled on the floor in the corner area, and there had to be at least a little crack in the foundation, and then gravity would have pulled that blood down naturally.
I was about to say, I didn't think you would have captions for Alive. That would be on replays.
Yeah, captions would only work on replay. Also, I don't think captions would work in real time because it can't anticipate what I'm going to say. Booga booga booga. Like, would it would have known that? Like, do you think it would have came up in time?
No.
Really, Psycho? Yeah, Detra, because then we hear Dylan's statement that she heard something along the lines is, don't worry, I'm going to help you, or something like that. That could have been Ethan. It doesn't mean that that's exactly what it was said. That's just what she remembers, something along the lines of being said. It could have been Ethan trying to say something about helping Xana. I'm not sure. Maybe, Laura. It's something we're going to have to... He was 4 inches taller than Brian, Heather, and athletic. I think Ethan was asleep. Yes, not necessarily a crack in the foundation. I don't know how to word it, Amanda. Just even small enough for air. Either way, once blood got to it, gravity itself will do the rest. I don't know how to word things like that. Like, just even like a sliver of paper. It can't be completely sealed. That's all I mean. I could only see her doing that if the killer wasn't in the room. I think if Brian was in the room, she'd run. Again, it's not just fight or flight. There's freeze. And she may have walked in and froze, and that 2 seconds that you freeze is a matter of life and death. We're looking at Xana's room, well, half of her room, baseball mom. No, it doesn't necessarily matter, Magic, but after killing possibly 3 victims before Ethan, and then Ethan being taller and more in shape, I think there would have been a struggle, but it depends on the order. We don't know the order. Maybe, Marcia. I don't know, Melly. I've heard that before too. And that's why someone said he wouldn't even have expected Ethan to be there, even if his car was there, because they had a curfew. Do you know anything about the curfew?
What?
Do you know anything about the curfew?
No.
I'm not sure. It had a quarter of a whole different story. Well, only time's gonna tell. But that's pretty much what we wanted to bring to you guys. We just wanted to show you. Again, there was only 2 options for DoorDash on a Saturday night at that time. So it would have been either Jack in the Box or Taco Bell. Both of them located right across the street from one another. Both had an average hour to a little over an hour delivery time. So it's completely reasonable that if an order was placed right before 2:45 a.m., that it wouldn't have arrived until shortly before 4 a.m. So yeah, that's pretty much it, right, Wolfie?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but I guess we'll learn more in time. But thank you so much, Wolfie, for waking up for your alarm and getting the screen recording and screenshots for us, because I totally failed us. Thanks, Shaq, for becoming a member. We don't know if it's the order of deaths, Crime Sleuthin. Like, how am I supposed to, that's something that we're only going to find out when it comes out. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate hearing all of your guys' theories. I'll be on tomorrow to focus on, will the defense have enough? I want to discuss that and that angle. So if you want to come back, I will see you guys all tomorrow. If not, have a lovely evening. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, Wolfie, for coming up.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.